In the summer of 1997, scientists scanning the Pacific Ocean for underwater volcanoes picked up something they couldn't explain. A sound so loud it was captured by hydrophones more than 3,000 kilometers apart. They traced it back to a single point, 1,500 miles west of the southern coast of Chile. For nearly 20 years, no one knew what made it. The shape of the sound looked biological, meaning whatever produced it was alive. But nothing known to science was large enough to generate that kind of noise across that kind of distance. The loudest underwater sound ever recorded. It lasted 1 minute and was never heard again.
There is a place on Earth we were never meant to reach, and at the bottom of it, things we were never meant to see.
Somewhere in the western Pacific, the ocean floor drops nearly 7 miles. It stretches over 1,500 miles, longer than the distance from New York to Miami. From the surface, it looks like nothing. The same flat blue as everything around it. But underneath, something is waiting that took the planet millions of years to make, and that we have barely touched. We've sent humans to the moon 10 times. We've launched probes past the edge of the solar system. We've photographed the rings of Saturn from 1 billion miles away. And yet, most of this place, right here on our own planet, is a blank on the map. Not because we haven't tried, because mapping a pitch-black world this massive is still beyond what our technology can handle. If you ever reached the bottom, the first thing you'd notice isn't the darkness. It's the snow, a constant silent rain of the dead, drifting down from the world above. Ancient plankton, fragments of bone, the slow residue of everything that has ever lived in the ocean. Scientists call it marine snow. Most of it never reaches this depth. It is consumed or broken down long before it gets here. The small fraction that does reach the trench settles onto the seafloor and remains there. Over time, it builds up into a continuous layer. The floor of the Mariana Trench is, in the most literal sense, a graveyard, going back further than human history can reach. And for many of the organisms that live here, it is the only steady source of food. Life in the deep is not defined by what it does, but by the problems it has solved. Down here, there are 4 great challenges that shape every living thing. The crushing scarcity of food, the absolute darkness, the impossibility of finding a mate, and finally, the unimaginable pressure. The first problem is hunger. The continuous rain of organic debris is thin and unreliable. To survive, you must either be a master of patience or an unparalleled opportunist. The tripod fish is a master of patience. It uses 3 elongated, stilt-like fins to stand motionless on the sea floor, its body held just above the silt. It does not hunt. It waits, sometimes for months, for the slow current to push a meal directly into its outstretched fins. Others cannot afford to be so passive. The fangtooth is built entirely for the sudden strike. Its body is small, but its mouth is a trap lined with teeth so large it cannot actually close its jaws. Evolution had to carve special pockets into the roof of the fish's skull just to make room for its own teeth when its mouth shuts. In a world where a passing meal might happen once a year, the fangtooth guarantees that whatever it bites never gets away. It is an anatomy shaped by desperation. When a truly massive meal finally arrives, like a dead whale sinking to the bottom, patience goes out the window. This is when the cutthroat eels appear. These sleek, hungry scavengers can sense the scent of death from miles away across the black desert. They swarm the graveyard floor in a writhing mass. stripping bone and eating years' worth of food in a matter of hours. But food is useless if you cannot find it. The second great problem is the dark. In a world without sun, light is not a source of energy. It is a language, a tool, and a weapon. The dollar hatchetfish uses light to hide. Swimming in the twilight zone where the faintest rays of sun still reach, its body is flattened, as thin as a coin. Along its belly, it has special organs that produce light. By adjusting its own glow to perfectly match the faint light coming from the surface, it erases its shadow. To a predator looking up, the hatchetfish simply vanishes. But where there are hiders, there are seekers. The barrel-eye fish has evolved a brilliant way to hunt in the shadows. Its skull is a completely see-through, fluid-filled dome. Inside its head, two massive, barrel-shaped eyes constantly rotate upward. These highly sensitive eyes are designed to filter out the leftover sunlight and lock onto the faint glow of prey hiding above. Its body swims forward, but its eyes look to the sky. Other creatures use the dark as a trap. The Pacific viperfish hangs vertically in the water, perfectly still in the pitch black. When a curious victim draws close to investigate the light, the viperfish lunges, trapping the prey in a cage of long, needle-like teeth. Down on the actual seafloor, the sea toad plays a different game with the dark. This bizarre fish doesn't swim. It walks. Its fins have changed into leg-like limbs, allowing it to crawl slowly across the deep ocean mud. Covered in fleshy spikes and bathed in a deep red color, it is practically invisible because red light does not reach these depths. It sits in the dark like a forgotten stone, waiting for a mistake to cross its path. But even if an animal can eat and hide, it faces a third, perhaps greater challenge: finding a mate in millions of cubic miles of empty, black water. For many, the odds are nearly zero. The black sea devil anglerfish has evolved a solution that is both brilliant and extreme. When a male, who is born tiny and weak, finally locates a massive female, his life's only purpose is fulfilled. He bites into her side and holds on. His body then begins to dissolve. His eyes, fins, and internal organs wither away as his blood vessels connect completely with hers. He is reduced to a living organ, a permanent parasite that takes nutrients from her blood in exchange for sperm. It is a union born of absolute isolation. Other creatures handle the emptiness of the deep in different ways. Siphonophores refuse to live alone. What looks like a single, incredibly long creature floating through the black is actually a colony of thousands of tiny clones, all fused together. They divide the work. Some pulse to move the colony, some digest food, others are armed with stingers, sometimes stretching longer than a blue whale. Beneath them, deep-sea sea cucumbers live a life of slow, quiet wandering. Some are completely see-through, shaped like drifting parachutes that slowly vacuum the dead particles falling from above. And beneath all of this lies the final, all-encompassing problem: the pressure. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the weight of the water is 1,000 times greater than at the surface. Here, survival is not about strength, but about surrender. The Mariana snailfish is the deepest living fish ever found, yet it is completely fragile. Its bones are soft cartilage, and its skin is a thin, clear film. It survives because its body is in perfect balance with the outside world. Its cells are filled with special chemicals that protect its proteins, preventing them from being crushed under the weight of the ocean. It does not fight the pressure. It has become part of it. These deep-sea adaptations show us that our understanding of biology is built on a very small sample size. The trench is forcing a revision of the criteria for where life can survive. That revision changes how we look at the rest of the universe. We no longer look only for sunlit, Earth-like planets. The search now includes worlds completely covered in ice, like Jupiter's moon Europa. Miles under that surface is a massive, silent ocean of total darkness where the pressure is unimaginable. It is a place almost identical to the bottom of the trench. The abyss is no longer just a place on our own planet. It is a blueprint for how life might survive across the rest of the solar system. We once believed these depths were the last untouched corner of our planet, a place completely isolated from our world by miles of water. But that isolation was an illusion. In 2018, Victor Vescovo made it to the bottom. Waiting for him in the darkness was a plastic bag. But the damage goes beyond what the cameras can see. Poisons have settled into the mud and been absorbed into the fat of animals that have never seen the sun. At these depths, the concentration of toxins is higher than in some of the most polluted rivers on Earth. We have visited the floor of the trench only a handful of times in human history, but our waste has been making the journey for decades. Our neglect, it turns out, travels deeper than our curiosity. Think about that for a second. We've mapped roughly 1% of the trench floor in any real detail. The rest is guesswork. The Mariana Trench scares us because it is proof that the Earth is still keeping secrets, that the map is not finished. And somewhere in that darkness, in the cold and the silence, something is still moving.